Guys, AI is replacing jobs left and right. And one of the careers that's being completely upended right now is the sales profession. Everyone in this field is starting to feel AI's presence. There's always some sort of new SaaS product or AI app that's going to get your company customers cheaper, better, faster, thus replacing the need to have a sales team. And today we're going to examine some of the ways that sales is being impacted, because the reality is if you don't adapt to this new technology, well, you're not going to be able to compete. The world is changing way too rapidly. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing facts and strategies from Jeb Blunt and Anthony Iannarino's book, The AI Edge, and also sharing personal experience from running sales and marketing teams over the last 15 years. So get ready, buckle up. We're going to go through and give you a complete wind up of what's happening in the sales world in 2026 when it comes to AI. So let's start here. Guys, there's three types of people in the AI era. There are those that are going to be displaced, controlled, and enhanced. So the people that are displaced, they're cooked. They're completely cooked. They're just going to be replaced by automation. The people that are controlled are going to be managed by AI systems. Quite frankly, I don't want to be either of the two. I don't want to wake up and being micromanaged by some robot that's tracking my every single move. You don't want that. I don't want that. And you certainly don't want to be on the breadline. Your wife's not going to be happy. You're not going to be able to pick up a girlfriend. You're not going to be relevant, respected, and financially free if your job is completely displaced. So we don't want either of those things. The third person here is enhanced. And this type of person is using and leveraging AI to multiply their output. That's where we want to be. That is the place that we are, where we are irreplaceable. We are, I mean, people are going to look at you like you're an octopus. You're able to get so much done. That's where we want to be. Secondly, we want to look at what generative AI is actually capable of doing today. So when we look at like some of the top ways that salespeople are really using AI, they're using it for personalized content creation, prospect messaging, prospect list building is a big one, automated follow-ups, advanced forecasting. You know, AI right now, when combined with a strong CRM and good first-party data and third-party data, is going to give you some really, really good insights. That is one place where AI excels, is looking at massive data sets and coming up with conclusions. It can also, we're seeing people use it for virtual role play and opportunity intelligence. Where are the best deals going to be created? And you know, in order to really apply the concepts that we're going to be talking about when we look at these different tools, you also need to be kind of aware of a basic three-step framework. And again, this comes from the book, The AI Edge. Great book. I'll put a link to it below. It's definitely worth it. I was just on a flight back from DC, picked up the book, scanned through it in a few hours. Really, really interesting. Took a bunch of notes and wanted to share them with you here today. Okay, cool. So what is this framework? There's the 3 A's framework, okay? The first of which is you need to adopt and start using the tools. Second is you need to adapt and actually integrate the workflows. And then the third is adept, master and optimize the workflows. If you skip any of these steps, you're just not going to be effective. You need to adopt, adapt, and become adept. And again, I think one of the places, quite frankly, that people fall off is the adept phase, where you're actually reviewing the results. You're optimizing. You have some sort of structure to kind of keep implementing and improving what's working, and so on and so forth. But also worth noting, guys, that, you know, in this process of testing and measuring new AI tools into your sales flows, don't implement everything at once. As you and I both know, you're busy, you got a million things going on. You're probably wondering why you're watching this video right now, but again, we're gonna keep going through this framework, which I think is gonna really help you. Don't implement everything at once. If you try to do everything at once, you're just gonna burn out. So really what we wanna do is we wanna start adopting and adapting tools on maybe a weekly, we try a couple different things, okay? And so on and so forth, okay? Let's go through the intelligence stack here, guys. And again, I'm trying to lay out this framework so that we can put it all together so you can have a cohesive AI strategy so you don't get, you don't get replaced by a robot. We don't want that. I don't want that. You don't want that. Your wife definitely doesn't want that. So let's look at what we call the intelligence stack, okay? There's 4 types of intelligence that you need to consider here. The first is your innate intelligence, which is your IQ. The second is your AQ, which is acquired knowledge. And again, with IQ, you can't really change that. You're really born high you're really born with that, that 3-digit IQ, which I know you have. You're watching this video, you're a smart guy. Acquired knowledge is reading books, talking to colleagues, that sort of thing. Next, we have EQ, which is your emotional intelligence. How capable are you of picking up on verbal and nonverbal cues in meetings? What is it? How do you present yourself? Are your hands in your pockets? Are you hunched over? That's your EQ. Okay, also very important. Hard to learn that too, by the way. Hard to learn that. And then lastly, we have your TQ, which is your technical intelligence. That's your ability to assimilate and use the technology that is out today. Again, if you're still using fax machines in 2026, you probably have a low TQ. And now with AI coming out, it's completely exploded the possibility of getting that technological intelligence advantage. Because if you're using tools in your sales motions that other people aren't, you're going to be not only irreplaceable to your organization, you are going to be a top performer. People aren't going to be able to compete with you, right? That's what we want. We want to just slay left and right. Okay, now there are 3 different levels of TQ intelligence, 3 levels of technical intelligence. The first is your low TQ, which basically means you're replaced. If you've got low TQ, you're not going to be able to compete in an AI digital world. Okay, you're cooked basically. Mid TQ is someone who's using AI partially. Maybe you're using AI. You're using ChatGPT to do some basic research or to ask questions. Like you're actually using the tools, which is great. By the way, only about 50% of professionals, according to Ipsos, a recent Ipsos poll, are actually even using AI on a weekly basis, which is insane to me. Guys, there's still an opportunity to stand out. That is crazy to me. And then there's high TQ, which are the guys like you who are going to be using AI to get enhanced performance, making better lists, generating better lists, more effective prospecting, better prep, better post-call follow-up, just all across the board, okay? Now, again, there are some core rules for using AI, and this is going to be level 5 of our 20-step framework. There are some core rules for using AI. Please follow these core rules. These are important. So never trust, always verify. You may or may not have heard this story. I shared this in a video where I talked about how attorneys are being replaced. I'll post a link to that video here. It's, I think, reached 150,000 people now, 110,000 people. Anyway, a lot of people watch it. Anyway, there's a story I tell in there where an attorney uses ChatGPT to do case research, goes in front of the judge, and the case law was all made up. He's like, but I asked ChatGPT if it was true, and ChatGPT said yes, all bullcrap. Listen, you're gonna get a lot of good stuff from AI, but you do need to put in some due diligence on the back end. And again, I think this is one of the places that makes a good salesperson irreplaceable, because they're not just gonna be spamming out garbage. And I'll talk a little bit more why that's important here in a moment. Number 2, garbage in, garbage out. If you're feeding bad data, if you're feeding bad context, if you're feeding bad prompts, you're not gonna get a good output. I don't know about you guys, but one of my biggest pet peeves is a CRM that is total junk. Listen, guys, just, if you're a salesperson who doesn't put any information into your CRM, just know that when you go into this world of AI, your CRM is going to be able to pull data from your entire tech stack, including notes, which makes you much more better prepared when you are following up with clients or trying to increase longevity and build relationships. That, I'm telling you, good note-taking, strong note-taking is going to be it's going to be an advantage, okay? Garbage in, garbage out. And then 3, just because AI can do something doesn't mean it should. And again, we're kind of moving into this world where marketers like me are saying, AI can replace everything, you can automate everything, and maybe. We're also seeing companies like Klarna laying off thousands of people, Salesforce laying off thousands of people, Meta lays off 20% of their staff. Amazon lays off up to 30,000 white-collar corporate workers. Companies are laying off a lot of people right now. And what's going to happen is they're going to realize that, well, AI can't actually replace all those tasks. We need to bring some of these people back. Who's going to get invited back to the show? It's going to be the guys like you who are actually using these tools. So just realize that maybe because you lose a job or lose a client here, don't crash out. There's going to be more opportunities for the guys that are adapting. 6, core AI workflow integration systems to connect. Again, now that you're like, okay, Mark, I'm bought in, I'm gonna start using AI, I'm gonna be using it more meaningfully. There's different pieces of your tech stack that are really important to put together. Your calendar, your CRM, your task management, and your email inbox. We are gonna be moving into a world now where it's all integrated. I mean, this has been a big push from Microsoft 360, HubSpot, Salesforce, all these companies. What are they doing? They're connecting their AI and integrating it with every piece of service. And again, this is gonna be really, really powerful, guys, as your tech stack becomes all integrated together, as you're using it. And again, I really feel like the CRM is gonna be the heart here, because I think that's a place where a lot of sales guys don't fully utilize it. There's some AI tools that you can use to better connect that too, which I'll cover in just a moment. But it's really important that you have all these pieces connected together and fueling the AI. Again, AI is only gonna get better and more powerful. And the better connected you are with your calendar, CRM, tasks, and inbox, the more powerful you're going to be. There are some key automations that top salespeople are already implementing now, like identifying high priority prospects. You probably already have some sort of lead scoring integration into your organization, into your deal flow, into your pipeline. Guys, the better your information is, the better that lead scoring is going to be. And AI is only going to make it more effective. It's going to make it easier to summarize information, recommend tasks that you should be handling. What are the impactful versus important tasks? And again, I'm going to cover that in a little bit more detail here in a moment. And actually, you know what? Now's probably the best time to cover this. Throughout your day, and I think this is something that people kind of understand but haven't fully put together. AI's promise is to give you more time back, your most valuable resource. The AI is there to enhance you to be a better salesperson, not to replace you. And I think a lot of people are getting this wrong right now. A lot of organizations are getting this wrong. This is where you're gonna stand out. When you look at the time that you're spending during the day, it's gonna be separated into 3 different types of tasks: the trivial, the important, and the impactful. And AI is really good at one of these is really good at some of these and bad at the others. So the first of which, trivial, is watching cat videos or doom scrolling. You don't want to do that. Trivial, we can cross that out. Important are stuff like updating the CRM, researching for meetings, pre-client prep, post-client work, so on and so forth, managing inbox, organizing your schedule or optimizing your trip schedule, research, so on and so forth, analyzing data. We'll get into more ideas. But it's really important, but it's time consuming. That's where AI stands out. And then there's the impactful, which is where you come in. That's the shaking hands, kissing babies, emotional intelligence, delivering the message, and getting the close. So again, this is really important, because guys, the key mindset here is that you get paid to sell. You get paid to sell. AI gets paid to give you more time to sell. And a lot of people are missing this right now. I think a lot of people think that AI is actually gonna sell for me. That's not where you're positioned, boys. AI gives you more time to sell. And the better you understand how to use AI to give you more time to sell, the more you're gonna sell, the more of a rock star you're going to be. Let's look at 7 steps to build your AI edge. And again, this is a good way of kind of like putting your framework together for how you're gonna actually execute here. So first, you wanna conduct a time audit. What you do versus what you should delegate. And again, you could follow some of those rules that we just talked about as far as what are the important tasks. Just feel free to pop open ChatGPT or Claude or Grok or whatever you're using and just have a conversation. What are you doing? What are the tasks? It'll talk to you. You can just go back and forth with it for 15 minutes while you're in the car, and it's gonna give you a breakdown. Next, you're gonna list the activities that you can offload. 3, you're gonna brainstorm how AI gives you time back. Again, this is where I think it's incredibly powerful. A $20 ChatGPT subscription it's just really powerful for these types of tasks. You're gonna research and test AI tools. You're gonna prioritize where and how to hand off to AI, okay? And you're going to implement using the 3 A's: adopt, adapt, and adept. Again, you cannot skip one of these stages. And then lastly, you repeat and refine. Don't forget to repeat and refine and continue to improve. Guys, if you're enjoying this video, if you feel like you're getting value from this video, please smash the like, smash the subscribe button. I put a lot of work into this one, and I just want it to be as highly impactful as possible. Let's keep going. There are some common AI mistakes, and one of these mistakes is being over-reliant, because when you're too over-reliant on AI, it makes you look incompetent or lazy, both of which are not gonna help you sell more. And again, one of the things that I think, this is what LinkedIn has come down to these days, and smash the like button if you agree with this. LinkedIn is just spam message after spam message after spam. It is all spam. What the hell are we doing, guys? And why is this happening? Because there's too many lazy salespeople that don't know what the heck they're doing, and they're just ruining their credibility and getting blocked, and it doesn't work, guys. Over-reliance on the AI makes you look incompetent and lazy. And I know there's a lot of companies that are selling the dream of you're never gonna have to prospect again, AI is gonna do all that for you, but honestly, I haven't seen it yet. Maybe it's coming, but I ain't seen it. Have you seen it? Post in the comments below. So that's the first mistake. Second mistake is assuming that AI can replace human judgment. And what people are doing is they're using AI for this like shallow personalization. They're either offloading the critical thinking. Don't do that. There have been examples where AI has recommended, Google Gemini last year had a controversy, was recommending people use glue to make cheese stick on pizza. Don't throw away your critical thinking, guys. If you throw away your critical thinking to AI, either you're gonna be replaced because why do we need you, or B, you're gonna look like an idiot. Don't do that. Okay, and the other thing that we kind of mentioned on a little bit before is using AI for this very shallow personalization. AI is very mechanical. I like it for some things, but we're gonna talk about it more, but just don't send those cruddy DMs on LinkedIn, okay? It needs, AI cannot be you. It cannot be you. If your prospecting is AI sending generic DMs, you are replaceable. We do not need you anymore. We can use AI to do all of that. And you might say, Mark, I'm using this tool and it's converting and I'm getting all these messages, and put in the comments below. I'd like to hear it, because frankly, I haven't really seen it. I've heard a lot of people promising that dream, because let's face it, guys, we're sales guys. Prospecting sucks. I don't want to prospect. You don't want to prospect, but it is part of the job. 9, AI does not replace prospecting, it enhances you. It helps you find the right prospect at the right time with the right message. And again, research is a big part of that. Using AI to research, like for example, maybe if you can identify who your ideal customer is, you can use AI to say, hey, write me out a spreadsheet, create a list of 100 other potential prospects that meet this ideal customer profile. Find them, put them in, create a spreadsheet. One of the things I've really fallen in love with recently is Claude Cowork, because I can just ask it to perform a task and it just does it, and I freaking love that. 10 here on my list here. There's 2 types of messaging. There's the personalized, highly crafted messages that are slower, takes a lot more time, but are higher quality. Again, you're gonna want 2 lists. You're gonna want, going back to this thought that we were just talking about, you're gonna want a list of whales. Like, oh man, if I could only land that McDonald's account, or man, if we land that Verizon account, I will be set for a year. You're gonna wanna be more thoughtful. You're gonna wanna generate a larger list. Maybe you're not just generating a list of one person in the C-suite, but the entire C-suite. We're gonna talk a little bit more about LinkedIn strategy here in a moment, but you're using AI to build out an entire customer profile, to build out spreadsheets. You can even, one of the things I've done with Claude Cowork in HubSpot is it can build out marketing campaigns, it can build out email sequences, drip campaigns, all sorts of interesting stuff, segmenting lists. You can do some really cool stuff with Claude Cowork once you've integrate it into your CRM. And that integrates not just into HubSpot, it integrates into Go High Level and a bunch of other things. The other type of messages are the targeted. These are faster faster, broader reach. These are gonna be, you can go a lot faster, you can leverage AI to write, maybe even AI to optimize, but it's a numbers game, okay? We're not as interested in it's more about quantity rather than quality, okay? And again, I do just wanna reiterate this point. There is a problem with AI personalization, and then it often feels very shallow, it feels fake, it feels cringe. Probably the best bet is you're gonna want to have yourself or someone just put a little bit of sauce on it, put a little bit of humanity into it. Use a little bit of that EQ that we were talking about a moment ago. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about prospecting, because I think prospecting is a place where AI can not only really enhance your ability to sell, but it's often misused. Okay, so here's some uses that we really like. It's segmenting prospects. Segmenting all the prospects. Again, we talked about that a moment. Using AI to properly segment into different ICPs, different geographies, locations, pain points, etc. You can use the AI to identify industry pain points, macro research, very, very good at that. Segmenting into specific challenges. This allows you to kind of get into flow states where you can kind of develop better messaging. And again, I'm not saying that we're not using AI to develop DM campaigns and email campaigns. What I am saying is that we use the AI to develop these campaigns, and then we put some humanity on top of it. That's where you're gonna get the best result. And maybe you even have an assistant to help you with that. I don't know, you can figure that out. Because again, we want to apply empathy and emotion to the message. In the marketing world, we certainly talk about the pain, but we also talk about the outcome. It's going to take some understanding of what the outcome of that desired ideal customer profile is, and going from there. The other type of prospect that we have here is slow prospecting. This is where I have more experience with being on the marketing side, but it's very high leverage. And this is a focus on social media and relationship building. And the plan here is that we use social media like LinkedIn, networking, YouTube, for example, to build familiarity. And familiarity is lubrication in sales. Let's face it, when someone calls you that you already know, you've met a few times, you're much more likely to answer that call than if it's some random number that says potential spam on it. Seems obvious. I don't know why so many people find this surprising. Post consistently. When it comes to LinkedIn, again, we're talking B2B sales, but whatever your platform is, you got to post consistently. You need to have a flywheel set up. We talk a little bit more about that. I don't want to get too deep into it in this video, but AI is very good at creating tons of content very quickly, whether it's turning a bunch of short pieces of content into long content or vice versa, whether it's generating images. I've said this in the past too. I mean, at the very least, you should be following big accounts and sharing big accounts, sharing book recommendations, sharing slice of life. I don't want to get too big into consistent posting, but there's a lot of things that you can do there. And again, that's the slow burn. But it pays off huge. I'm reaching 300,000 people a month here on YouTube. It took me 1,600 videos to get to a point where I was capable of doing that. But again, there's a huge payoff. And gosh, if I could go back, there would be so many things I'd do differently, but I digress. Engage with your top prospects. I was talking to a guy at a conference. I just flew in from a Meta conference, a Meta Small Business Leaders Conference up in DC. I was talking to a guy there who's clearing millions of dollars in his marketing agency. And he says what he's doing is when he hires SDRs or salespeople, he gives them, he helps them build up their own accounts. And then before they even DM a prospect, they've been engaging on that prospect's LinkedIn account for 60 days. So not only are you posting, but you're lubricating by commenting on their post and liking their post and sharing their posts. All of a sudden they're like, who is this guy? And in some cases, you don't even need to reach out to these people. They'll say, who is this guy who keeps commenting on my posts? And then they'll click on your profile, and then all of a sudden they're in your top of funnel because they're in your profile and they want to know. Anyway, you can kind of get the picture. I'm not going to break the whole thing down. Educate and you can educate and provide insights. You can solve problems publicly. One of the guys that I love, Ruben Hassaim, I think, on LinkedIn, is just always posting these Claude infographics that give prompts and skills and all sorts of cool things. So that can be something that you're doing, and you're speaking to that ideal customer, right? That's important. Leverage your content repurposing, leverage calendar-based content planning. I think this is something that a lot of people don't fully appreciate, but before you go into the year, generate a spreadsheet, generate a calendar with key themes. You know, is Father's Day coming up? How relevant is that? Is the Masters coming up? How relevant is that? You know, you look at general trends like that, Easter, Mother's Day, etc. You can look at micro trends. Are there big conferences that are happening? Is there South by Southwest? Is there, maybe you're in finance. How often are you reporting on changes in the Fed, right? So like put your content calendar together so you're not caught by surprise when things happen. Discovery. This is a human advantage, and as we move kind of outside of prospecting, AI cannot replace discovery. And what are we talking about discovery? That's asking open-ended questions, genuine curiosity, active listening, empathy. Like, these are the things that AI cannot replace, and they are things that people are trying to replace. I don't see it happening, okay? So you can use AI is a way to kind of prepare, and we're gonna talk about this here in a moment, but just understand that, that is your human advantage. It's looking someone in the eye, and I don't know about you, but if you've got kids, this is gonna be a huge problem for the next generation. I know a lot of guys that are on the older side, they're like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because all these young kids using AI are just gonna replace me. Guys, these young kids they don't know how to look a human being in the eye and shake their hand. They're glued to their phones, which, I got a 9-year-old son, a 9-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old son, and I'm really working on that with them. Here's a quick tip if you like. When you go out to eat, have your kids order for you. It teaches them how to be direct and speak. So anyway, little side note for all the dads out there, moms and dads out there. Here's a key stat, by the way. 80% of B2B buyers say the salespeople are unprepared for meetings. 80%. That is a lot of guys that are showing up unprepared. And this is where AI can really shine. It's not gonna replace the discovery. It's not gonna replace that impactful work, but it can replace the important work. So when you look at your pre-call preparation framework, you really wanna lock this down with like what you already know about them and what you want to learn. And AI can help you with this, but hopefully you or your SDR or people within your previous salespeople have actually been using the CRM again. And again, this is where having our CRM really matters. It really matters because what you already know about them is crucial. And the amount of organizations that have crap in their CRM is really astounding, really astounding. And then look at stakeholder motivations. AI is great at this. And what do I mean by that? If you're getting on the call with the CFO for a company, what is the pain point that they have, and how can you help alleviate that pain point? How is it different from the CMO or the CEO or the COO or Judy from HR or whoever, right? Use AI to assist, because the better prepared you are going to a meeting, knowing who am I speaking with, what are their pain points, how does my solution help them get them to where they want to go? Big, big deal. You can further use AI in the sales process when it comes to research and discovery, to generate discovery questions, sample questions. Like, I have a pretty big podcast. I don't really host it too often anymore, but when I was hosting it, I used AI to give me a bunch of potential questions. And then as I'm going through the podcast, I would ask potential questions. You can analyze the market. You can analyze other stakeholders. You can prepare for objections. These are all things. Just copy and paste this from the transcript, plug it into your AI pre-sale process. You can use it for competitive intelligence. Who are their top competitors? Because I'll tell you what, you want to win that account, you need to help your clients crush the competition. Analyze competitors, identify the pros and cons and the differences between the two companies, and be prepared to position yourself as a potential solution to those problems. Opportunity intelligence, like when we kind of talked about this a little bit. If you're putting good information into your CM, you're gonna have better lead scoring, predictive close likelihood. So you can kind of know how to prioritize your time. There's nothing worse than opening up your CRM and you're looking at 15,000 people and you don't know where to start, okay? So putting good information into good data into your CRM and keeping it clean, keeping it healthy is better lead scoring, better close predictions, better deal scorecards, okay? But it doesn't just stop there, guys. You can use AI for actual sales execution when it comes to generating proposals. I was talking to a guy, he's the regional manager for one of the largest auto mechanic shops. I actually posted an entire video on it. I'll post a link to it here. And they implemented a process where their techs, when they're walking around a car, they're using AI glasses and a tablet and dictating and kind of walking around doing their diagnosis. All that information gets fed into a computer on site. And that computer is not manned by a human being. It's fully used by, it's fully controlled by an AI computer, which sources the products, all the OEM parts, all the services, et cetera, puts together the whole proposal, then a human being says go and pushes it out. All that time you're spending putting together proposals, scratch all that. AI should be something that is playing a major role in streamlining, elevating, and delighting. And I like a word that keeps coming up in my mind when it comes to AI is delight, because you can do some really innovative, cool stuff. I was putting together a business plan the other day and I was using Claude, and Claude actually coded and built out an entire web page, a web page widget, which would allow you to kind of shift different things around. Like, well, if I charge $10 more, you'd make this much more in monthly profit. Or if you sold this many more, it would increase your LTV by this amount much. And so it's really cool. AI has the ability to delight. There's other cool softwares out there that can just do some really cool things to delight and really help you to stand out. Which, by the way, I think what most people are doing is actually having the opposite effect. They're cheating, not cheating, but being lazy and skipping steps, and it's looking bad. It doesn't need to be that way. It can be much better. Role play simulations. You can simulate role plays, objection handling practice, a little bit more on that, and then data-driven coaching, all are good things. One of the cool things that I'm more on the marketing side now, but the other day I had Claude audit one of my clients' web pages, and I connected it with Ahrefs and their WordPress, and it highlighted a couple dozen things that we could do to optimize it. And then I said, Claude Cowork, hey, can you just do it? And it did about half of it, which was insane. You can connect it to things like your Meta ads, Google ads campaigns. It pulls all the data, reviews all the data, tells you what you can do better, what's not working, et cetera, et cetera. Again, we always verify, but it gives you a huge head start. AI for contracts, guys. If you've ever had to look through a big contract before, that sucks. I hate that. You get sent an 80-page contract, but you're still gonna need to read some of it, but AI can really help you look for potential key terms like indemnification clauses, payment terms, termination obligations. You can highlight risks and obligations, termination conditions. You can use it to highlight risks and potential obligations. You can have it suggest remedies. I'll tell you what, AI is really good at reading and finding this stuff. It's not perfect, but it can give you a huge leg up in finding these red flags. And I've talked about this a bunch. I just want to highlight it again. AI plus your CRM is going to be the differentiator for effective salespeople and ineffective salespeople moving forward. We are going to be in a place, guys, we're already there. It's only going to get magnified where you have this centralized intelligence that is firing you up, that is keeping you. It's just going to fuel everything, guys, having a strong CRM, better decision-making, workflow automation. It's going to turn you into a freaking superhero. Golly, man, I feel like guys don't fully understand what's happened already. It's really wild, guys, because as I mentioned before, better inputs, better outputs. The sales guys that get this and are getting the better inputs are going to get much better outputs. You put crap in, you're getting crap out. If you're eating, you guys know these guys, they stay up too late, they're eating pie, they're eating hamburgers on the road, they got French fries all over the stomach, they get tired, they cannot compete with you because they're putting crap in, they're getting crap out. It's gonna be the same thing with AI, it's gonna be the same thing with your CRM. And if you start to adopt, adapt, and become adept, you're gonna be unstoppable. You're gonna be unstoppable. Remember, guys, AI is a multiplier in the sales world. It is not a replacement. There are definitely some guys out there who will be replaced. 100%. But that's because they don't understand the concepts that we've covered today. It's because they haven't adapted these skills. You are not that. You are not replaceable. You are going to use AI as a multiplier using these skills. Human skills are becoming more valuable, not less valuable. And B2B sales, shaking hands, EQ, technical intelligence, this is gonna separate the men from the boys. The winners here are gonna be using AI to reclaim their time. They're gonna be focused on the high value human interactions. Again, we talked about this earlier. They're not focused on, they're using AI to replace important tasks so you can complete the impactful tasks. AI completes the important, you complete the impactful. That's the key, guys. You're gonna build systems, not just the outputs. The outputs are important, but in order to get a good output, you need the system in place. You need a system in place. So I hope this was an impactful video for you. Smash like, subscribe. We're giving you a fresh video 6 days a week, and we're covering exactly how AI is impacting the workforce. If you want more, you can click the link below and you get more of the assets. I've got a ton of free stuff for you. I just feel very strongly that the guys like you who are absorbing and adopting and becoming adept, who are spending more time doing impactful stuff, are going to be, the future looks so bright, guys. The future looks so bright. You have a lot of potential ahead of you. So hit the subscribe and I'll catch you in the next video, boys. See ya, peace.